Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to ARTV. Damn it, I'm facing the wrong way again, aren't I? I can't even bear to face this embarrassment. What's up everyone? Welcome back to Beyond ARTV. My name is John and you're tuned into my Q&A series, Dear John. Dear John is dedicated to those viewer questions that you guys leave in the comment section down below that I feel merit a discussion, perhaps some sort of debate, or maybe just an explanation via video form. Now today I am fielding a question, full disclosure, from my girlfriend, who you guys probably know as Infinity on Hannah, but I made her go through the same process. She asked me this in the car and we were talking very briefly about it and I said, you know what babe, you're just gonna have to leave a comment like everyone else. Granted, I did pick said comment and I'm probably showing favoritism there, but it is a very good question. It's something that I have thought about here and there over time because I've been asked it before, but this is a great excuse to make the video. No script, no bullet points or anything like that for this episode. I want this discussion to come off the cuff, from the heart, what I'm feeling. We'll get to the question momentarily, but before we get to that discussion, I want to thank today's sponsor, Massdrop. You might already be familiar with Massdrop, perhaps you've even heard me talk about them in another one of my videos, but they're a community-driven commerce site that allows its users to give input as to what products get made next. Now, with me being a music channel, someone who listens to a ton of music, they sent me these HD58X headphones that's a collaboration between Massdrop and Sennheiser. These headphones are so incredibly comfortable, I cannot stress enough how much the felt design helps for extended periods of listening. If you're somebody like me that does a lot of dedicated listening sessions, then this is the headphone for you. Both quality and comfort are packed in here, and with hundreds of reviews on their site that have been raving and super positive, how can you go wrong? If you visit the top link down below, you can reserve your pair before the next drop goes live. You not only help support ARTV and Beyond ARTV in the process, but you score some amazing and incredibly fairly priced headphones that beat out anything in the market. Onwards with this episode of Dear John, let's get to the viewer, girlfriend question. Do you think certain genres require more talent? For example, is it even fair to compare, say, a skilled guitarist or drummer to a rapper or EDM artist? A lot of people say some types of music require little to no talent, but how true is that? This is a very difficult discussion to have, especially in front of an audience, because everybody wants to have a horse in the race and they want to think that they've got the right answer. But I'm trying to, as much as possible, push aside my preconceived notions, my admitted biases, and my opinions, because I definitely do think that certain genres do require more talent, but there's also certain styles of music that get overlooked because I think a lot of people are like, well, there's no human element to pressing play on a computer, but they don't realize the work that went into crafting that beat or honing that skill, whether that be rapping, and maybe it's not everyone's cup of tea, but it still does require some technical ability to actually get it across. Of course, on the other hand, you can always argue, well, we're in the technology era and people can undo things, they can do a million takes, they don't have to record to tape anymore, there can be so many mistakes and you can just slap some auto-tune on it and it sounds okay, it sounds decent. You don't have to be able to be a trained vocalist anymore, you don't have to have that raw talent, you can just go in the studio and make anything that you want to make. In a lot of ways, that's kind of a nice thing because people can get better over time, they can push and challenge themselves, and then we've also seen an uprising and an influx of really bad music that's just made because people can make things on their own and with other producers, with people who craft beats or craft electronic styled music and then people just sing over it. But I think the big names, at least a lot of them, they still care about their craft. And to the question of, is it fair to compare, say, a guitarist, a drummer, to an electronic artist or a rapper? No, it's not entirely fair. People are always going to do that, like I mentioned previously. But to the question of, is one more talented than the other? Inherently, no. And I think that so many people are so biased and so stubborn on this, they don't want to admit that. And while so many people within certain genres, whether that be rap, EDM, rock, pop, whatever, there are many untalented people that I feel break through anyway, not totally talentless, but still relatively untalented when compared to some of the greats. Those break through, but there is still an inherent skill that it takes to at least get to some point. You have to be able to speak words, and some would consider that a talent. I will say this, if you're playing an instrument, if you've actually learned it, you get the precision down, whether that be the violin, the guitar, the cello, the mandolin, whatever the hell you're trying to play, if you've actually gotten that down and you've perfected your craft, or at least you're on your way to trying, I do feel like there is more skill involved there than being able to teach yourself something on the computer. Now, many people would disagree with that, and that's totally fine, but I don't want to get at and say one is better than the other. Obviously, there is a new way of doing things for many artists, many producers out there, and I don't think that that's a bad thing to have things at your fingertips, but I also don't want to totally lose that human element where people actually do, say, pick up an acoustic guitar, start playing, start teaching themselves, start taking lessons, whatever the case might be. I do think that there's something to be said to be able to actually do that, or be a trained vocalist, somebody who has command over your voice instead of just a computer program doing it for you. To the part of the question that says a lot of people say certain types of music require little to no talent, I would say maybe swap out talent for effort. Little to no effort is put into some of the music and it becomes a hit. And not to say that all songs made in 5 to 15 minutes are horrible, because a lot of great songs have come up from these great sessions where somebody just brainstorms and they have to get it all out right there. But also, yes, there's the lazy side of things, and people are going to say, well, this was just shit out in like 10 minutes in the studio, nobody cared, it was a pre-made beat, they came in and rapped on it, and that was that. In my personal opinion, I think it does take more talent to be able to play an instrument, to be able to do it in the studio or else live. You learn your craft, you know it inside and out. And obviously being able to perform vocals and stuff without tons of auto-tune being drenched on everything. I don't think that there's anything wrong with manipulations, and some artists just use it as an extra tool, and rappers do that as well. There is nothing wrong with that if you want to use it as an aid, but some people rely on that as a crutch, and especially to rappers and pop artists who so heavily rely on the backing track live, I think the performances just feel a little bit dead. You feel a disconnect, and some people want that these days, and that's fine. You're going for a show. It's more like entertainment, Cirque du Soleil type thing. I go for the entertainment, sure, but I also like to see the artist or the band captivate me with their sound and what they can bring to the table live. And it's not to say that doing things live is the ultimate source of talent, because look at an electronic artist like Skrillex or Zedd. I've watched a lot of documentaries and people write them off too many times. People say like, oh, he or she doesn't do any work. It's only like pressing a few buttons and they create it in their studio or in their bedroom in like 5 to 10 minutes. Who cares? It's not that much work at all. But really, there is an art to that mastering of the craft, of honing in a sound and going for a certain style and beat. I think Skrillex and Zedd have both said in documentaries and interviews and stuff that they might work on a song for like 6 months or 12 months, an entire year, and not being able to finish it because they don't know, does this need guest vocals? Do I need to bring in this sound? What do I need to change about the drop? There's a lot of things, so don't overlook the talent of other styles and genres just because it's not your cup of tea. This has been a really tough discussion for me because I find myself just arguing mentally back and forth with myself. Of course, I did give a few strong opinions there, and I obviously feel certain things are more talented than others, but again, this is all just my opinion. Please drop a like on this video, and thanks again to MassDrop for sponsoring this video. They've been great supporters of the channel, so go show them some love by clicking the top link down below and pick yourself up a pair of headphones. Thanks again for watching, guys. Get involved with the discussion down below. If you would like to check out the last episode of Dear John, then click this link here, or tap right over here for another recent video I posted on the channel. All of my social media accounts can be found linked in the description down below, and I'll see you soon for more right here on Beyond ARTV.